as some of our viewers know already, we at The Print are putting together our Print School of Journalism, where our reporters will actually teach courses based on their beats. This includes, of course, science and health journalism as well, and I will be among the faculty for this first ever lesson. There are links up on the website for people to enroll, so for those interested, do check it out and join our very first cohort of science journalism students. Now, on to our Pure Science climate news. In a less noticed but major environmental development, the US's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration (NOAA) and the International Coral Reef Initiative have stated that the largest and the fourth global mass coral bleaching event is underway. It is described as being equivalent to high fevers in humans that go on and on and on till humans die. This development is extremely worrying, but it is hardly surprising. With each passing year, there are more and more temperature records that are being broken than ever before, and each month of every year continues to become the warmest month on record ever. Global sea surface temperatures have remained above 21 degrees Celsius over the last year, which is quite a record in 2023. And this plays a major role in coral bleaching events. The increasing heat in the ocean leads to less mixing of oxygen in water and increasing mixing of carbon dioxide in water, which is also increased in concentrations in the atmosphere. Low oxygen and increasing carbon dioxide concentrations in the ocean start to make the ocean more acidic because carbon dioxide and water results in carbonic acid. In such an acidic environment, it is extremely hard for corals to build their exoskeletons, which is made up of calcium carbonate, which makes up the physical structure of the reef. The reef that we see, the physical coral reef structure, is the exoskeleton that is secreted and produced by the coral themselves. And when oceans become more and more warm and acidic, not only does it become hard for these coral to build their exoskeletons, but they also start to expel the algae that they host called zooxanthellae. Both corals and zooxanthellae are living beings, they are living individuals. The youngsters, the individuals of corals, are called coral polyps. And these individual polyps are the ones that build the reef structure, which is technically their exoskeleton. This exoskeleton then gets occupied by these algae called zooxanthellae, which get protection and nutrients from this exoskeleton. In turn, the zooxanthellae are able to photosynthesize, so they are able to provide necessary nutrients to coral reefs. So coral and zooxanthellae live in a symbiotic relationship, and when the temperature becomes too warm, the zooxanthellae start to leave coral reefs, thus making them starve and bleach. And how healthy the zooxanthellae are is a good indication of how healthy the coral reefs are. They are also the organisms that are responsible for providing these corals with their bright and vivid colors that we often see in nature documentaries. When these algae leave their permanent homes, which is the structure of these coral leaves, the corals start to bleach, but that doesn't mean that they're dying. There is still potential for recovery. However, what is happening is that large-scale mass bleaching events are becoming so frequent and ocean acidification is increasing so consistently that these reef structures might not recover at all. There have been 3 other mass bleaching events. The very first one was because of El Nino in 1997-98 off the Gulf of Thailand. That was the first documented mass bleaching of coral reefs. The next one came in 2010 in the southern Caribbean near Tobago. The third one lasted 3 full years from 2014 to 2017 and was widespread globally across multiple areas. And now we are in the 4th ongoing one that is once again spread across multiple global reefs across the world. The world's biggest reef, the Great Barrier Reef off the coast of Australia, has already been almost fully affected. This is not new, it's been ongoing for a while, and we've in fact discussed what's been going on with the health of the Great Barrier Reef in another Pure Science video years ago. Now, these bleaching events are significant because the health of the coral reefs around the world is a major indicator of the health of the world's natural environment, marine ecosystem, and nature in general. On land, something like the Amazon rainforest would be an equivalent. We call the Amazon rainforest the lungs of the world because of the amount of greenery and biodiversity present in this region and the extent to which it contributes to sustaining the world and terrestrial ecosystems. Coral reefs are the Amazon rainforests of the ocean. They are an anchor to underwater life and they hold incredible biodiversity. Just the Great Barrier Reef, for example, holds over 400 species of coral, which in turn support more than 10,000 other species of marine organisms, from extremely small microscopic ones to large ones, including organisms such as sea turtles. There's a region in the world's oceans called the Coral Triangle, which is a coral-rich region between the waters of Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, and Papua New Guinea. This is considered to be the most biologically diverse marine ecosystem on the planet. And this sustains ecosystems that is complex enough to feed humans as well. Coral reefs in general indirectly contribute to the human food chain too. It is estimated that hundreds of millions of people are dependent on coral reefs directly and indirectly. These reefs can protect food and natural resources and also protect against extreme weather phenomena such as tsunamis, just like mangroves do. They break up heavy and powerful oceanic waves and cause them to lose their intensity when they near the coast. And in fact, coral reefs protect mangroves as well. Also, they protect beds of seagrass that grow under the ocean, all of which provide food for other marine species in the ocean. Thus, coral reefs are a huge contributor to sustaining nature as we know it, especially underwater. A coral reef bleaching event is deadly, and it doesn't just happen easily. It happens after years and decades of cumulative buildup of ocean heat and acidification process. As we move into the future, these instances of reef bleaching are in fact going to become more and more common, likely exponentially, as we can already see the gap between different bleaching events decreasing. There are, of course, ongoing efforts to protect reefs across the world. There are laws that prevent fishing activities around reefs, and many government agencies are coming up with plans for conservation of coral species. These aren't always enough, and they don't move fast enough to keep up with the rate of destruction. Many marine ecosystems are also designated as marine protected areas, and human activity is banned here, and these are an important aspect of coral reefs management today. But again, none of the efforts into plugging the hole matters as much when it comes to the leak, and this is the case for all news and all developments that revolve around increasing emissions and heat. Ultimately, as with every climate solution, the most helpful solution is to stop emissions immediately at the source, which unfortunately the leaders and rich individuals of our world are not going to let happen anytime soon.